Morty! Oh, sorry, I thought I'd get that out of the way before, people click off the video. So guys, before I begin, real quick, I just wanted to say thank you so much for the support for these videos. It really does mean everything. I've kind of realized that, I might have something here. And I might be able to turn this channel into something special. I'm not getting paid for these videos, and it's just I enjoy making them, and I enjoy entertaining people. I enjoy entertaining you. So, if you like it, it would really genuinely help me out if you would subscribe or like. I mean, come on, it's free to do. And if you want to see more content from me and more frequently, then that's the way to do it. I won't let you down. I swear to you, I will try my hardest to make the best content I can. Here we go. Okay, to start off, let me just come out and say it. Dan Harmon's product placement is unrivaled. But, more importantly, how boring are you for clicking on a video about product placement? And hey, I said don't click off earlier. Especially when this video is ironically sponsored by... No, I'm not popular enough to be sponsored by anyone. I want to say right off the bat that in this video I am going to be looking at primarily the shows Rick and Morty and Community. If you don't know about these shows, they were both created / co-created by the same man, the aforementioned Dan Harmon, an extremely talented writer, actor, producer and comedian. If you haven't checked out his work, I would definitely recommend giving it a go. But I mean, watch this video first. Left of the bat, I just want to say that I won't be spoiling much about the shows that I'm talking about in this video. I'll mainly be doing a basic rundown and mostly focusing on how each show traverses their various product placements. I have a great love for both these shows and what they represent in their various subgenres of TV comedy. I have been entertained for hours and hours on end by both, and on every rewatch I noticed and appreciate more and more about every part of the production, from details to performances to sheer comedy. They really are masterpieces at their best, and admittedly with debatable levels of quality at their worst. What are you doing? Can I talk to you for 1 sec? Please. Yeah, sure. What's up? You can't go around saying anything bad about shows like Rick and Morty. Why not? Man, they will kill you. What? Who? The fans. Wait, what do you mean? My friend, Gareth, he said Pickle Rick was dumb once, and he ended up in a trash yard in Copenhagen with no hands and toothpicks shoved in his eyes. Oh my god. What? Okay, in all fairness, he was a drug lord, but I'm positive it was because of what he said about Rick and Morty. My guy, you need better friends. Daniel James Harmon was born January 3rd, 1973. He co-founded the alternative television network and website Channel 101, as well as doing other work such as hosting his own podcast named Harmon Town from the years 2012 to 2019. He also wrote a book with the optimistically inspirational title of You'll Be Perfect When You're Dead. Wait, what? I think this guy needs a hug. Harmon was born and raised in Milwaukee, where he briefly attended Greendale Community College, something that might sound familiar to community watchers, as this is the exact name of the college that the show is based in. He actually used the experiences at the school to form the basis of the show, something I didn't actually know before doing the research for this video, and I find that so cool. His early career consisted of things such as co-creating the television pilot Heat Vision and Jack. This was starring Owen Wilson and Jack Black, who actually also both appear in a season 1 episode of Community. Dan also appeared in and co-created a bunch of other Channel 101 stuff. Over his career, he's been nominated for a few awards, such as a few Emmys in the writing category and winning 2 in 2018 and 2020. He won those in the Outstanding Animation Program category for Rick and Morty. He was also nominated for a Hugo Award for his Community episode Remedial Chaos Theory, for again, writing. Now in my research, something else I found out about Dan Harmon that I found really interesting was that Harmon himself, while researching the character of Abed for Community, and for those who haven't seen the show, Abed is a character who's on the spectrum, noticed that he had a lot of similarities, and after consulting with professionals, he's now actually been diagnosed to be on the spectrum himself. Now on this, he's actually stated that he believes he has more in common with the character of Abed than he does with the character of Jeff. Just an interesting bit of information there. And so now we talked a bit about Dan Harmon's life and career, I'd like to talk a bit more about his style, but I think this is more appropriate for when I talk about Let's start with Community. Airing from September 17th, 2009 to April 2nd, 2015, it ran for 110 episodes over 6 seasons. It aired on NBC, except for its final season, which due to being cancelled and picked up again, aired on Yahoo Screen. Was that a typo? No, that's right, Okay then. That season aired from March 17th to June 2nd, 2015. The show, like a lot of sitcoms, is based on a group of lovable misfits and their various adventures, set in a setting of, in this case, the anticlimactic and the dead-end environment of community college. I believe that this is a staple of Dan Harmon's pessimistic attitude and non-conforming area of his signature style. Whereas a show like Friends would be based in New York, or How I Met Your Mother would be based in New York, or Seinfeld would be based in New York, or Brooklyn Nine-Nine would be based in New York, or 30 Rock would be based in New York, or Futurama would be based in a future version of New York, or Archer would be based in New York, or Last of the Summer Wine would be based in, well, Yorkshire. Wow, New York is the place to be. Community is set in some random rundown community college in Colorado. Most episodes of the show have little actual stake in the greater scheme of things and are absolutely pathetic in nature. For now though, I want to talk about the area that I find most paramountly unique about Community and Dan Harmon's other work. Its absolute brain-bending level of being meta. Now this is seen in Community usually through that character I mentioned earlier, Abed. This show's plots can go to otherwise unthought of levels of self-awareness. Heck, let me give you an example, right? The final scene of the final episode shows us a commercial, but the characters in the commercial actually become self-aware and realise they're in an advert. They then proceed to decay into a state of absolute existential depression in the realisation that, unlike Pinocchio, they can never become real and are forever just a figment of the viewer's imagination.
What is it?
It's a script of a fake commercial at the end of season 6 starring this family.
Sorry, Dad. Guess I win.
You stupid Nobody's winning anything. Don't you see? It means we don't exist. We're not created by God, created by a joke. We were never born and we will never actually live.
And that's the last scene. It just leaves you with that. Wait, who are we? You what? What are you talking about? Right, no, if they were just characters designed to die once the segment was over, then doesn't that mean we're the same? Oh no, oh no, oh my, no!
Resetting memory.
No! Rick and Morty was born December 2nd, 2013 and is still running to date with season 5 soon to be released. This show is Justin Roiland as the other co-creator. This series follows the various misadventures of cynical scientist Rick Sanchez, with honestly a pretty climactic general plot of a man who has more in common with a Greek god than those around him. But you know, it still has time to have plots about, bowel movements. But again, I'd love to talk about Dan Harmon's same style represented here. The message behind Rick and Morty is, well, whether life's meaningless, and it's often veiled behind denial or comedy, and it's similar to Community but deeper and bigger. And that's seen in how the stories actually matter here and are generally less pathetic in the greater scheme of things. For instance, does it really matter if the character of Annie doesn't win the Model UN competition when, you know, there are actual wars going on around the world? Does Rick's and by extension anyone's life matter in the universe when we all know that, at our core, everything, whether we like it or not, has existed before us and will exist after us? So, case in point, in terms of subject matter, Rick and Morty is obviously more of a beefed up show. Okay, now let's talk about that second bit of style I was talking about earlier. That sweet Dan Harmon meta comedy. Meta beyond meta. In writing this video, I've actually nicknamed it being mega meta. In all forms of media, the thing that separates the audience and the characters is obviously the fourth wall. And when this is shattered, the resulting product is a meta setting or character. And you guys know about this. These are characters like Deadpool or Ferris Bueller. But I think it's exemplified better than in any media form. In season 4 episode 6 of Rick and Morty, the whole episode is a deconstruction of Dan Harmon's story circle and the structure of stories in general. I really cannot emphasize how much text, subtext, and subtext is crammed into this one episode. If you haven't seen it, you should really check it out. Through these two shows and how they both irradiate these traits, we can interpret that by Dan Harmon's very nature, he utilizes these tools as part of his style to better appeal to and actually involve the audience. And right about now, you're probably thinking to yourself, I thought this video was supposed to be about product placement. Well, just you wait, my friend, just you wait. Hey man, yeah? Do you remember what we were talking about earlier? No. Why? How did we get here? Yeah, actually, where are we? Who are we? Are we alive? Do we exist? And what is YouTube? And who the heck is Nate Gate? Yeah, and why does his first and last name rhyme?
Damn it. Resetting memory.
No, please! Product placement, also known as embedded marketing, is a marketing tool in which a reference to a specific brand or product is incorporated into another work. In this case, that work is television with the intent to promote. The true purpose of this form of advertising is to innocuously place the brand, so it isn't noticeable, but it is, and so it's subliminally placed within the viewer's mind. The companies will obviously typically exchange money to be featured in a good light within popular works. Productions will utilize this for reasons like extra money to improve the final product. Now, where Dan Harmon is unique in his utilization of companies paying him to advertise their products in his work is in how, whereas a show like Stranger Things would awkwardly and shamingly embed the products into the show in a scene such as this absurd Coca-Cola plug from season 3.
How do you even drink that?
Because it's delicious.
What?
Sweeter, bolder, better.
I mean, that's obviously terrible, but Dan goes in a completely different direction. And when I say completely, I mean completely. Now, the reason for the previous deconstruction of his style was so I could emphasize how this is reflected in the product placement to beautifully entertain the audience and maintain respect. His advertisements bleed funny, and instead of distracting and removing the audience from the episode, it instead enhances their experience. And this is through how the advertisements become jokes in their own right. And of course, this is achieved through that mega meta style. So let me give you some examples. When a company like Subway wanted to be featured in Community, you'd be forgiven for thinking that they would just base an episode in a subway for some reason. Community has a full reoccurring plotline for the corporation. They even have a character called Subway.
Who are you?
Gang, meet Greendale's newest student, Subway.
Your name is Subway.
Yep. Using a groundbreaking but surprisingly legal process known as corpo-humanization, real people such as myself are now allowed to represent the collective humanity of business owners. I have contractually waived my birth identity and am now a man and students named Subway.
I don't believe this. Come on, Subway, there is no way you're 5'10".
And it's that complete self-aware, prideful nature that makes it so good. And of course, because of them doing that, the writers can be laughed with instead of being laughed at for employing such a random stance on representing them. Okay, so another instance like this occurred in Rick and Morty. I mean, look at the most recent episode, the season 4 finale. The Wrangler jeans death laser. And, if you haven't seen Rick and Morty, that's pretty much all you need to know. There is just a death laser. Sponsored by Wrangler Jeans.
Congratulations to your government, business, or terror cell on its acquisition of the NX5 planet remover by Zamazax in partnership with Wrangler Jeans. The NX5's industry-leading tachyon beams eliminate planets twice as fast as the NX4S with half the battery and zero built-in fatal design flaws. That's right, no more secret hole that blows the whole thing up when you shoot it. Your enemies will say it's unfair. We say it's about time.
The product becomes the joke, and through this mega meta, the audience are treated like adults. And because of that, we can better enjoy the comedy through the recognition of our own intellect. I mean, it's seen again in Community in the guerrilla marketing plot of Honda in season 6 episode 7.
Ta-da! Why choose when you can undo's? Oh, and that blower, that was just an impulse buy.
Wow, Dean, you know, one vehicle's enough for one person.
I guess I know that in my head, but I can't shake this fear of losing even one small part of what Honda has to offer.
But I do have to say, my favorite examples of these do come from Rick and Morty.
You guys, we gotta hurry. I just got back from Walmart. They're selling Nintendo 3DS systems for $149.99 on sale. Plus, every time you buy one, you get a $50 gift card. Brings the total price down to $110 after tax. They're all limited edition Zelda ones. Hurry, hurry, come with me. We can be rich, and we also all get to keep one, and we can play Nintendo games. Nintendo, give me free stuff.
But you can't tell me that's not hilarious. I mean, Rick and Morty actually develops more on the meta advertising relative to Community. And notice that Rick and Morty was made at a later date, so it makes sense Dan Harmon only develops it as a creator. His style evolves. And this is embodied in the completely separate, shockingly entertaining external adverts created in collaboration with the show. It would be safe to say that these are my favourite adverts. But why though? Simply because they don't feel like adverts. Instead, they feel like mini episodes of the show, and I would definitely recommend to anyone watching this video to check them out. And yeah, that's right, I'm actually telling you to go out of your way to watch an advert. These were done with all sorts of companies, such as Old Spice, Wendy's, Pringles. And what do they have in common? In each one of them, they share that one simple, all-important Dan Harmon quality of being meta. They are made ironically. I challenge someone to please watch this video and, you know, count how many times I actually say meta. Yeah, I should probably pick a different word. Self-awareness? Yeah, sure. Their self-awareness makes the whole advert a joke and fuels the memorability, something which is key in advertising in general. And thinking about it, I kind of wish there were award shows for adverts. I mean, there might be, I don't know. I mean, let's be honest, they'll all go to the Super Bowl ones anyway. Finally, that previously talked about pessimism aspect of his style is front and center in all areas of Dan Harmon's self-aware marketing, represented nowhere better than in these adverts. I mean, just take a look at the products. They aren't shown as awkwardly positive or unrealistically perfect, but instead actually as antagonists to our heroes. And if anything, they're shown in a negative light. The brand is personified through living food, and to make it even more weird, they intend to beat the living life out of our main characters.
Rick, what's wrong? Don't look over too fast, Morty. We're being followed.
Who are those guys?
It's Wendy's breakfast, Morty.
Wait, it's a Wendy's what?
Wendy's breakfast. They've been trying to make us do a commercial about it for months.
Man, I'm hungry. Those things look good.
Bet your ass they do, Morty. That's the breakfast baconator, frosty chino, and honey butter chicken biscuit. Chicken biscuit's a bruiser, Morty. Do not mess with that guy.
I understand.
Run, Morty, run! I'll never do it. You'll never take me alive.
Oh, wait, Rick! Oh.
And it's that juxtaposition of the typical flattery of products and product placement that instead of giving the brands a bad reputation as one would initially assume, rather makes them down to earth and far more memorable, due to how we as audience members can recognize that the gigantic corporation, contrasting with what you'd expect, has a similar sense of humour to us. And due to this trait that we, the viewer, and the corporation have in common, we then develop a subconscious bond and respect, making them stick in our minds all the more. Plain and simple, this form of Dan Harmon strategy marketing is nothing short of pure genius. Inspirational, innovational, wonderful genius.